here I am. The guy that was told, you should quit, you're not very good, you're never going to learn how to sing, you're never going to figure it out. I've done it.
Ma se me forza perderti per sempre, o luce mia, a te verrà il mio palpito sotto qual ciel tu sia, chiusa la tua memoria del cor, chiusa nell'intimo del cor.
I met Brian in the year 2000 when we were working on a production of Don Pasquale at Bronx Opera. What struck me most about Brian's voice was a certain almost a ferocious quality that he had. I mean, it was full commitment all the time. And I don't mean it was forte all the time, but it was absolutely committed in whatever he was doing. And then there was a space of almost 10 years where we didn't work together. And when we started working together again at Saltmarsh Opera, he sang Nemorino from L'Elysir, and then he sang The Duke from Rigoletto, and the difference was in his voice was profound in the ease of it and the volume and how it had opened up like a fine wine.
When I heard Brian for the first time, I knew that he had an unusual voice. It wasn't the same sound as we were hearing in all the other singers that we were listening to that day. It had a much darker quality to it, much fuller sound, and we knew that we were dealing with a really unique sound and a really unique voice.
Singing with Brian is a different experience because it was kind of like instant chemistry. Brian doesn't only exude happiness and positivity just for himself. He really makes it so that everyone else that he comes in contact with feels great too.
Working on a production with Brian, you know not only is that role going to be not only secure but going to be worked on to its fullest extent and explored to its fullest extent. But you know that there's going to be a leader in the company who's going to be, really raising morale and really, being a shining star among the cast.
By the way, Brian is basically the Hugh Jackman of opera, because when Hugh Jackman does a Broadway show, he walks in and he meets everybody and he knows all the stagehands by name, and that's Brian Cheney.
Oh, bell'alma innamorata.
So once I felt like I really got this technique and this perspective, I really wanted to pass along this knowledge that Jerry taught me, that was taught to him, and I feel so honored to be part of this lineage that I thought the best thing for me to do would to be to teach as much as I can. And it's been so rewarding because not only has it made me a better singer, but I feel like I am continuing Jerry's legacy by teaching this technique. So just keep an open vocal position, okay?
Yep.
And just ride the air.
The very first time I started working with Brian, he told me about this physicality, this technique, and how to stop dealing with sound and dealing with actual technique, dealing with vocal position. And it completely changed not only the way I feel about my singing, but the way I sound, how confident I am with it. Every single aspect of my performing has been improved based on working with Brian.
I think what strikes me the most about studying with Brian on voice is that it's not just about singing. You work with a lot of teachers and they focus on all of these techniques to really fix your voice and kind of create the sound or whatever it is you're desiring, but they don't really sit back and think about the underlying reasons that can sometimes cause problems with singing. Brian somehow finds a way to not only tell you the correct technique in terms of just leaving your voice alone and letting it do what it's supposed to do, but he also kind of gives you a therapy session at the same time as a lesson. I've always joked that my voice lessons with him are half singing, half therapy sessions, because by the time I leave, I don't just feel better about my singing, I feel better about my life in general.
It's great. It's great to just put your hand on somebody's shoulder and say, you know what, singing's easy. You can do this. Just let it feel good. This is how you do it.
One thing is that when young singers have sort of overcome that initial shock in lessons where they're not used to really his style, they begin to really understand what he's saying and really focus on the main goal, which is how to communicate a particular message as a singer.
When I started singing, when I got into singing, what fascinated me was understanding this instrument. And that was my goal. That's what I set out to do. And here I am now, and I have achieved that goal. I am now at the point in my career where I'm ready to be heard. It's time. So I'm really excited about this project that I'm about to do. I'm recording my debut solo album with orchestra. I'm very excited. It's going to be great.